Hello there, everyone. Jeff C. here on Monday, October the 7th. And come to you with some international news that's courtesy of my own backyard, Canada. Canada is spying on Brazil. Go figure. Who would have thunk it, right? But our good friend here, journalist Glenn Greenwald, has come forth with more information from our even better friend, Edward Snowden. And this time, it is not the United States nor Great Britain that is in the crosshairs of Mr. Snowden, nor the NSA or the GCHQ. This time, it's CSEC. CSEC. Yes, we've talked about CSEC before on this podcast, which is the Communication Security Establishment Canada. It's our version of the NSA, basically. So, according to Glenn Greenwald, Canada hasn't seen the last of the stories alleging spying activity in Brazil. Journalist Glenn Greenwald told CBC News on Monday. Greenwald collaborated with the news agency that first reported the last details, working from records leaked to him by former U.S. National Security Agency contractor, our good friend Edward Snowden. He said in an interview with Carol Off, host of CBC Radio's As It Happens. And there may be more to come. There will be more to come, no doubt about it. Greenwald said he absolutely has a lot more to report on spying on Canada. This is, by the way, the cbc.ca website. There's a lot of other documents about Canadians spying on ordinary citizens, on allied governments, on the world, and their cooperation with the United States government, and the nature of that cooperation that I think most Canadians will find quite surprising, if not shocking, because it's all done in secret and Canadians are not aware of it. No, most Canadians aren't. This Canadian is sure as damn well aware of it and has been talking about it for the last couple years. Alright, this has been going on. Now it's coming out. Now it's all coming out. And now is the time for Canadians to wake up en masse and realize what's going on with their government. Right? We're spying on Brazil, for crying out loud. Now, when you think about us spying on Brazil, we're part of the Five Eyes, right? So all these countries, the five countries, the Great Britain, United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, I believe, share all their information. So all their CSEC here in Canada communicates with the GCHQ, sends all the information, metadata, everything they have. Also, Israel would have to be counted in that Five Eyes or as an affiliate of it, right? But this is what's happening, and we're just catching wind of it now. At least the nearly comatose, overweight average Canadian watching on the 6 o'clock news or 10 o'clock national with Peter's women's dyke there, right? Here's more on the article. The original report on Global Television alleges Communication Security Establishment Canada, or CSEC, was using metadata from phone calls and emails to track the communications of Brazil's Energy and Mines Ministry. Yes, they're going after big industry because that's where money is. There's so much money, and there's a huge amount of competition between Canada and countries like Brazil, especially in minerals, mines, energy, aerospace, all kinds of things, right? So having governments that are controlled by corporations like the Canadian Council of Chief Executives, who want everybody watched all the time and want to rewrite they've already rewritten every Canadian business rule to suit their needs and to establish their power, expressed satisfaction in the results. CSEC, as well as the offices of Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper and National Defence Minister Rob Nicholson, refused to comment on foreign intelligence gathering activities, of course, because they're once again caught with their pants down It's embarrassment after embarrassment. It's spy story after spy story. There's so many things that this government has wanted to do to Canadians and is doing to Canadians, and Canadians are finally starting to get wind of it. Now the question is, what are they going to do with this information? You know, I almost hesitate to cover Canadian stories, even though I'm Canadian, because really not many people seem to care in this country. As if you look in my videos, the ones that are on United States or Great Britain get way more views, and that's not right. Canadians need to wake up. Asked if the document on which he reported Sunday showed where Canada benefited from the alleged espionage, Greenwald said he can't talk about the documents he hasn't published yet. But obviously, his quote here, Canada is not expending enormous amounts of money to create a spying system that doesn't produce any valuable secrets. Obviously not. If they're putting all this money into it, there's a lot of money to be made. And even in this document, they express satisfaction in the results of their efforts. And so I think it's fair to infer, even just from this document, that they have reaped benefits from this. No freaking doubt. And not only that, but of course the CSEC is going to be, jumping for joy for the work that they've done. Give us more money. Put more money our way. Asked whether he has documents discussing specific companies, Greenwald again declined to comment. I guarantee you those companies are on the Canadian Council of Chief Executives, which another Canadian video that was criminally underwatched on this channel and on YouTube, period. I'm just not going to talk about what's coming until it's ready. Greenwald said the document was in NSA's possession because it had been presented at the Signals Development Conference held by the Five Eyes. There you go, what I was talking about. The name given to the 5 allied countries that collaborate on foreign intelligence: Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Britain, and United States. Can we just put Israel in there too? Right? They targeted the mine ministry. That is where the big money is. That is where the big competition. That is where these corporations in the Council of Chief Executives, who we pointed out, one of the main groups within that huge conglomerate of corporations, 150 of the top corporations that are based in Canada but are really international entities that are working to create the TPP and all these other ACTRA and AFTA and all these other sort of bills that are going to take away all your sovereignty, right? And you won't have anything left. You won't have any laws protecting you because you will fall underneath these treaties that they are creating in order to benefit nothing but the corporations themselves. They don't give a damn about national sovereignty. They don't care. They hate it. Right? I've showed it on this channel. So a Brazilian television report that aired Sunday night said Canadian spies targeted Brazil's mines and energy. Right? And this means the United States is getting all this information as well. Right? And is Great Britain, all the Five Eyes countries. So this is incredibly powerful for them to know what these industries, these massive industries in developing nations are up to. Right? At the very least, economically, huge benefits from it. So Stephen Harper doesn't want to confirm or deny the allegations. When he was asked, he doesn't want to say anything. He's too embarrassed. His staffers are desperately trying to write up something that will somehow excuse the Prime Minister and somehow justify this breach, this terrible assault. It's not just our country, and that's what's crazy. It's like now Brazil, they're waking up to it. I mean, in Brazil, they're one of the few countries in the world that have come out and said, we can't stand what the NSA is doing, and we're going to pass legislation in our own country to protect our own people and our own employees of the government from being spied on by Canada, of all places. The CSEC does not comment on specific foreign intelligence activities or capabilities. Right? That is something else, right? Of course not. Of course not. Brazilian Mines and Energy Minister Edison Labio told Global that Canada has interest in Brazil above all in the mining sector. It can't say can't say if the spying served corporate interest or other groups. Of course it served corporate interest. And it served other groups. It serves so many different purposes, but first and foremost, it's for economic gain. American journalist Glenn Greenwald, based in Rio de Janeiro, worked with Global Honest Report. Greenwald broke the first stories about NASA's global spy program focusing on internet traffic and phone calls. So, you know, Brazil has responded by summoning the Canadian ambassador to appear and answer for these allegations, as they damn well should, right? Brazil Foreign Affairs Minister summoned Canada's ambassador to the country to explain spying allegations, a Canadian official confirmed to CBC News Monday. The summons, a serious diplomatic measure, comes the day after Brazilian television reports said Communications Security Establishment Canada, CSEC, used phone calls and email metadata to map communications of Brazil's Mines and Energy Ministry. The Globe had a few points here on what they were doing. So they took aim at Brazil's Ministry of Mines, describing it as a new target to develop despite limited access and target knowledge. One of the slides shows that CSEC focused on ministry portable devices, and it was able to identify their carriers, such as Brazil Telecom SA or Global Village Telecom, the kind of hardware being used, and the metadata where the calls were placed in countries such as Peru, Venezuela, Poland, Singapore, Great Britain. Another slide presentation explains how the analysts cross-referenced a handset's SIM card with the network telephone number assigned to it and all that, right? Here, CSEC metadata collections include calls made from the Ministry of Mines and Energy to the Brazilian Embassy in Peru and head office in OLADE, the Latin American Energy Organization, which would be a huge competition for these major oil industries that are based here, mine industries up in Canada. One slide titled "Show How Canadians Connected an IP Address Assigned to the Ministry to the Emails Communications with Canada, Eritrea, Saudi Arabia, Thailand, Afghanistan, Jordan, and South Africa." Another phone monitored by CSEC belonged to Paulo Cordeiro de Andres Pinto. They always have such long names, eh? A career diplomat who was ambassador to Canada from 2008 to 2011, right? So they went for a former ambassador to get all his information and probably all his personal data and calls as well. And finally, CSEC's next step was going to be the collection of emails and cooperation with hacking specialists working for a special unit of the U.S. National Security Agency. Wonderful. You knew it would all come around to that, right? So, thanks to Edward Snowden and courageous journalists like Glenn Greenwald, we are finally starting to see some of the scope. I think we're just scratching the surface with a lot of this. This stuff's going to be coming out for a long time, and many countries are going to be exposed, as they should. All I can say is thank God these people have come out to share this information and risk their lives in the process, which now should shield them, because every country that is not part of these Five Eyes is going to be saying, oh yeah, what else? Were we spied on too? It's really embarrassing. It's embarrassing to be a part of this country that is spying on every citizen, that is collecting everything, recording every phone call, who knows what, and it's all being shared with the NSA, the GCHQ, Israel, right? That's where it's going, as I've shown in previous videos. So here we go. Get on the roller coaster ride of Glenn Greenwald and Edward Snowden, and where will it take us next? Which country will be caught red-handed or with its pants down? Today it's Canada. Australia, you're up next maybe? Leave your comments below.